when you see negative comments, when you see that someone is down, a few people pick on it and all of them just want to jump on that train and like just make that person like really like worse than he's already feeling, right? That's there. A small town boy from Bangalore. Like, I'm sure you grew up in Bombay, right? You have a sporting hero growing up, Sachin Tendulkar, I'm guessing, right? I had nobody. There was nobody to look up to from in the small town that I came from. There was no sporting heroes. So to come from there and end up like in the Indian team and playing for so long, like a lot of times I sit and like pinch myself and wonder how that has happened.
Welcome to another special episode of Ajio Presents The Ranveer Show. Lately, we've been doing a lot of cricket conversations. The reason I was looking forward to Rahul being on the show is that I am a cricket fan. Everyone knows about the narrative that's been going on in his entire recent past. Everyone knows the narrative of his career, but cricket fans know that this person is also one of the most well-spoken cricketers. This is as nerdy and as gripping as a cricket podcast can get. If you're a young cricketer, if you're someone who's looking for inspiration from the world of cricket, get ready to achieve it in style with KL Rahul. Before I let you move on into the episode, I will say follow us on Spotify. TRS is a Spotify exclusive. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. I promise you, you've never witnessed KL Rahul in the avatar that he's presented on this episode. This particular look has been styled by Ajio. Make sure you go check out the fantastic fashion options and make sure you check out today's fantastic episode. This is The Ranveer Show with KL Rahul. KL Rahul, welcome to The Ranveer Show.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me.
How are you, my man?
I'm good.
Dude, whoever's on screen, which is myself, and then my guest, usually sets the tone for the room. Everyone in my team, I know for a fact, has noticed your humility. You're a really normal dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, that's the biggest compliment anyone could ever pay me. I think this is like my earliest memory of what my parents taught me. I remember my mom would always tell me, no matter what you do in life, like they obviously wanted me to study and like go down the same route, like become an engineer or a doctor, or that's probably what they wanted their son to become. But like when I grew up, I chose cricket and they were supportive, but that's the only thing my mom ever told me, is that no matter how big you become, small you become, no matter what you do, I just want you to be known as a humble guy. And like, that's the only thing that you can give me as a son. So,
Dude, I've always wanted to ask a current cricketer this question, so I'm glad you're going to be answering this question for me. Which is that I'm exposed to the world of social media, a little bit to the film industry, and now to cricket thanks to the show. I feel a lot of us in our 20s and early 30s are growing up in front of the world.
Yeah.
So obviously you make mistakes, be it like, as we spoke about PR mistakes, or be it those, or be it in your craft. You will make mistakes when you're a hustler in your 20s and your 30s. Yeah. What's it like for a cricketer to grow up in front of the world? Dude, I remember when you had got your first test century and you had jumped and you were clean shaven then. And all that. That's a memory of. What was your first IPL team? Like your first IPL team? Bangalore, right? Yeah, I remember you there as well. You kept and all that. But we've literally seen you grow up in front of the world.
Yeah.
So what happens to a cricketer's mind in his 20s when he's like seeing all this, like the glamour plus all the pressure about constantly upping your game? Like, what's your world like?
I mean, obviously, like you said, you grow up in front of the world, and it's so fast paced, right? Every movement, every action, every word that comes out of your mouth is judged, and you're under constant pressure to be a certain way, and you realize it. I mean, no one has to say this to you. At least, like in the cricket world, no one, like, we don't have. If you're lucky, you have mentors who've who'll guide you from a really young age, like when you're 17 and 18, they prepare you for when you become an international cricketer or when you start being exposed to the pressure of international level or the IPL level. But
young age is what?
Say 17, 18 is, if you're talented and if you're really lucky, you get a mentor who's already been through that journey, and he will pass on his experience and he'll tell you what is right and what you need to do, how you need to handle the pressure, and you'll have that sort of guidance. But for most
Who was it for you?
I didn't. I had to learn it myself, right? For most of the cricketers, I think for most of the cricketers, you have to learn it on your own. You do have you do have senior players that you will share the dressing room with, and they will share their experience with you. And you watch a little bit, you observe all of that, but it's all new to you, right? Like our parents have told us so many times, probably, that, what you're planning to do is a mistake. But till you go through that journey for a couple of years, make that mistake, only then you realize, oh, shit, my parents had told me this 3 years ago. It's the same with you, right? You want to experience that journey. And when you go through all of that, it's like the pressure of playing the game. And when you don't do well, there's so many things being said. And when you do well, you're treated so differently. And you get sucked into all of that, the good, the bad. And you don't really have time to really sit down and detach yourself from the game. At least for me, it did happen that I lost like my true personality when growing up. And even now, like for me, like someone asked me the other day, is like, what do you like doing apart from cricket? Like, what is your life apart from cricket? It made me think, like, there's not much, because I haven't done anything since I was 11 years old. I've been playing cricket. I didn't have much of I didn't go to school a lot. I did. I mean, I finished school and college. I did get through it, but I didn't attend classes, or I didn't make a lot of friends, or those are the years you develop other hobbies or habits, right? I didn't have time for that. I was only playing cricket, and I'd only go back home and write my exam. So that kept happening. So as you grow up, you realize that you look back and there's nothing else like to fall back on. There's nothing else for you to do. So for me right now, it's okay. I need to, how do I detach myself also, learn a new hobby, or like what makes me happy apart from playing cricket and apart from training, which is part of my journey, and I'm aware of that, and it's fun. But yeah, it's just tough. It is tough. Like there's no running away from when you're going through that, like a rise in your career, which is what you always dreamt of doing as well, right? Like for me, I always dreamt of playing for India, and that was my only plan. I never had a plan B. That's also part of the reason why I don't have any other hobbies, because I only wanted to play for India. I wanted to play cricket. So I've only done that, and I guess I'm pretty good at it, but like nothing else. I didn't pick up anything else, but you're proud of yourself, obviously, because, in our country, when so many people play cricket, you've managed to achieve your dreams. You're very happy and proud about that. But also, like, you realize that it's a very confusing time growing up for a lot of us as well, because you're away from family, the guidance that you get from your father, or like, I'm sure for parents are a huge part of like a child's like growing period, and their guidance is very important. But for us, we're always away from the family, so you just fall back on the coaches that are there, your senior players, what you've seen, and you try and learn from everybody, observe a few things, and you just have to go through the ups and downs and be strong enough mentally, or develop a few qualities that will help you remain at that level and keep getting better. So I mean, it's just tough. I mean, I can't give you a very straightforward answer, because I don't think it's so straightforward. Yeah,
I've never enjoyed a long answer this much, dude, as a cricket fan. And that's a lot of heaviness.
Yeah.
You said few people get to play for India, fewer people get to become 3-format players.
Right.
Like, I think, honestly, as a cricket fan, I feel you guys, the regulars, haven't been given enough chances to express yourselves in media.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope podcasts can bring to the cricket world, honestly.
Yeah.
And I have so many questions from what you just said, dude. This one answer. Before you spoke about your personality detaching itself from cricket, I want to take you to that point where you started doing well. I'm assuming it's that test century where you jumped and everything.
Yeah, I didn't really jump for test century. I was blank. Like, I was blank. Like I just took off my helmet and I was like, because I've played this in my head so many times, right? Like as a child, as a kid growing up, wanting to play for your country, and you've gotten this chance. And like I had a horrible first game, and then the next game, like I got that 100. So like I know I've prepared for this. Like I've played this in my head that when I get 100, this is going to be my celebration. This is what I'm going to do. But when it actually happened, I was just blank. I was like, okay, I knew I got 100, but like there's so much running through me. Like I just blanked out at that moment. And then, I mean, I think Virat was there at the other end when I got the 100. We just, hugged him and like we just tried to take it all in, but it was just happening so fast. So still.
What's the current dressing room mahal like? Like, what's the environment? Like, tell the fans something about the dressing room.
Dressing room is chilled, bro. It's always, I mean, more or less, more often than not, we're all like quite relaxed. There's music playing in the dressing room. We make sure that there's loud music playing in the dressing room because we know the minute we step out of that dressing room, the pressure hits you. When you hear the noise of people, it hits you. And you know, once you cross that boundary line, you'll start facing pressure. So at least here we want to stay as relaxed as we can and just feel normal and not make the game everything.
As is the case with a lot of bros, is there a lot of shit talking?
Of course, there's always, like I said, we try and make sure that we create an atmosphere in the dressing room which feels like 15 bros are just chilling, right? Like shit talking, loud music, people are eating, people are getting massages or warming up. All of that happens together, and like, just imagine like 5-10 of you guys just sitting and just
talking
chilling.
shit.
Yeah.
To get your head off the...
Yeah, get off the game. There are a few guys who are still... I mean, captain is obviously going and speaking individually. He'll have certain strategies. He'll go and... I mean, captain will come and tell you that, okay, Ranveer, I want you to do this. And, this is a strategy for you. And this is what your role is. And he will do that. He will be in a certain this thing. You still try and go and, make sure you talk to the captain and comfort him and make sure that he also is in a position where he's also thinking about his game, because
that's a player's role. Like, you have to also take care of your captain.
Of course. I mean, captain takes care of you, so why don't... I mean, it's the responsibility of the other 10 guys and the 4 or 5 substitutes, the coaches, the support staff, to always look after your captain as well, because he's going to look after you in the middle. So it's... Yeah, you try and do that, or create that atmosphere in the dressing room, and it's just really, for now, I think it's a lot of fun. It's very calm, and we're also a team right now where we're working hard. We're doing everything that we can, ticking every box, but also trying to enjoy that process and not really take too much pressure and not be too attached to the results. Like right now, our aim is World Cups. We have 2 this year. Test Championship and the ODI World Cup. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, we realize that it's going to be high pressure, but we also like try and help each other and like say, okay, this is what we need to improve. Okay, we're playing in England. And like I said, when you're a youngster, you don't know, if you've not been to a certain place, you don't know what the conditions are. So that's the senior player's role or his responsibility to share what he learned on his previous trips with the other guys. And so just those talk. There's cricket, there's shit talking, there's music, there's all of it. There's everything happening.
Okay. Let me be a bit of a representative of the fans here.
Yeah.
I've been a lifelong cricket fan, and then I've been a YouTuber in my adult life. So I know what online trolling and hate feels like, and online criticism. I know kind of what it feels like. It's not the degree that you guys get, okay? But what it tends to do is that it tends to make itself the highlight within your mind when it's about you. So if 9 people are saying positive things about you and 1 person says some shit, your head will focus on that one comment. Be it the tournaments, be it series, be it a random exhibition match. There is 90% of cricket fans in India who back our boys very aggressively. So you guys are aware of that, right? Like that whether even if you lose every single game, I wish y'all don't, because that's the quality of the team. But we will like back y'all like crazy. And I know it's silly for me to say this. Weirdly, I met a few cricketers yesterday, and someone told me that they kind of cut off a little bit from the outside world because that's the nature of your world. You are aware that we love you guys, right? Like there's like a waterfall of love onto you guys. Like there's that 15% bro culture in that dressing room extends on the outside to like all the love, all the bro culture on the outside. Like when we see y'all, something happens to our hearts, because as business people, as corporate employees, as whatever we are, you guys give us joy just from your performances, just from like the work you all put in. So are you aware of this?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we get showered so much love when we do well, and we get so much support when we don't do well as well. But trolling and the hate and the negativity is just there. I mean, you realize as soon as you walk into the dressing room. I know that one of my really good friends, Ishant Sharma, the first thing he told me when I debuted in Australia was, for the next couple of weeks, stay away from social media. No matter what happens, whether you do well or whether you don't do well, don't go searching for the good, or when you know there's bad, don't go again. Like don't avoid it then. Like try and remain as neutral as you can and balanced as you can, and don't go looking.
Does the love feel like pressure?
Not really. No, not to me. I mean, I feel like, when there's so much love and when there's so much support from so many people, it gives you more power. It gives you more strength. And
I want to say one thing to you, which I've been holding back till this point in the show, because we've made it about cricket, but I also want to talk a little bit about you. There's a lot of respect that people have for you as an athlete, dude. I spoke about nerd fans respecting you. Generally, also, you've earned yourself respect, dude. It's not easy to do what you're doing in life. It's not easy to be a 3-format player. And it's definitely not easy to be KL Rahul and you're doing all these things. So I'm telling you, the entire team here, they're holding back. They're not being starstruck, but there's love being like showered on you. There's respect towards you. And this is just my team. But they also represent the vast majority of Indian cricket fans, specifically for you.
Thank you. I mean,
just be aware of that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
I'm very grateful. I'm very, when people, like, I know the last few months haven't been great for me on the field, and the kind of support and the messages that I've gotten have been, like, tells you that you've done something right in your life, not just as a cricketer, but as a person. I think I have done something right, and that's something that will be like really close to my heart. When that's when you know that you've had a good impact on people in whatever way. When you're really struggling, when your back is against the wall, and there is so much hate and negativity that you're getting even during those times. And it's so easy in the modern day to just, like, when you see negative comments, when you see that someone is down, a few people pick on it, and all of them just want to jump on that train and like just make that person like really like worse than he's already feeling, right? That's there.
I have to interject you a little bit. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. We had Akash Chopra on the show where he spoke about you specifically. He said that if you actually see KL's stats, everything's fine.
Correct.
He's doing well. But it's become a trend to criticize KL. And there was a lot of support under that video. There are lots of reels kind of made from that podcast.
Right.
Well, a lot of fans are saying the same thing, that, dude, it's just weird internet culture that KL is being targeted. Now go on.
That's something that sometimes affects me and affects a lot of the other boys as well. That when we as athletes truly need that support from anyone who feels like they can, they have the power to comment or say anything they want. It's just that, just see what that person is going through, right? Like if none of us want to perform badly, right? This is our life. Like, this is all we do. Like I said, I don't know anything else apart from cricket. That's the only thing I do. So why would anyone assume or think that I'm not serious about my game or I'm not working hard enough? And unfortunately in sport, like, there is no connection. Like I said, you can work hard. Like, I worked so hard, but the results didn't go my way. But there are times where, like, I've not worked as hard as I probably did previously, but I've still gotten great results. So sport is just like, there is no formula. You just play the sport. Like, things happen for you. There are people who stand up and support the players, which is good. But something I personally try to do is stay away from both.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, you have to, I feel. I mean, I do feel like sometimes you do want to listen to people saying good things about you, but you also realize that, okay, if you get sucked into that, then be ready to face the other side. There is another side to it. So just be choosy. You choose what you want to view. If you're a person that doesn't get affected by all of this, sure, you can do it. But if you're a person, like, for a long time, it didn't affect me. I was like, okay, they can say whatever they want, but I don't care. I will prove all of these guys wrong. Like, that was the attitude for a long time. But later on, you realize, okay, it does affect you somewhere. You're just trying to hide it. You're just trying to tell yourself you're stronger than them, and you'll try and fight everything. But after a point, you don't have that fight. So then you stay away from it. Now I try and stay away from reading about myself or seeing what has been written, and that's a lot more peaceful and easier on me mentally, because then it gives me a lot more time to focus on the right things.
The only thing I'll say is, the actionable for the fans here is that if you see unfair criticism, go out and defend your guys. That's one angle. And the second angle here is, dude, because you don't look at social media, what I will say is that, trust me, you have backers as well, like a lot of backers. That's for you on a personal level, because now we're shifting the podcast into talking just about UKL, Rahul,
Right.
and not so much about cricket.
Okay, awesome.
Because I feel like, honestly, like, bro to bro, a little bit, the ice is broken now. Like, and I don't blame you for that.
Yeah.
Your world, cricketers in general, I think y'all are told to be slightly guarded by, like, mentors, and that's perfectly fair. Okay, but from this point
They're
on,
told, but you also realize it.
Okay.
You realize it yourself that you need to. You guard yourself, because you know if one mistake, you will, you can be ripped apart by everybody in the country. So you try, and the best way is to just stay away sometimes and be quiet.
I got your back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next segment.
Yeah.
So this is a segment we've introduced on the show because I have figured over the years that people like to know the human side of my guests a lot more than they like to know just about their worlds.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So, and it also kind of helps me kind of go deeper into the person's mind through the rest of the episode.
Okay.
So, KL Rahul, are you ready for RGO Presents Keep It Cash?
Okay.
Keep it casual.
Ready.
All right. So you gotta answer some things I'm asking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to ask you some tangential questions as well.
Okay.
One quality about you, except for your cricket skills, that helped you make it to the Indian cricket team.
My self-belief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that like the requirement for everyone?
It has to be, man. Like, I mean, it is a team sport and everything, but like, your journey is quite lonely. Right, you have to go through all of that yourself, because you start playing. Say, I started playing in Mangalore, and then I did well. I started playing for Karnataka. Your different teammates. You don't have like the guys you start out with. They're not going to be on the team everywhere with you, right? And a lot of times you're against each other, right? There is competition, right? Everyone's fighting for that spot. So yeah, it's just, end of the day, to reach to the top, you have to like have that self-belief and sort of like push yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I hear you. The biggest cricket mentor in your life has been Dash.
Like, you mean a person? Who has it been?
Yeah.
I think Rahul Dravid.
Okay.
I grew up watching him play, and then when I was under 17s, I had the opportunity to train with him, and then when I was 20, I had the opportunity to play with him, share the dressing room in Karnataka. Same, both are from Bangalore. So, I had the opportunity to talk to him, understand his game, and like really, that was like my first opportunity to speak to an international cricketer.
All right.
And he also happened to be someone who I idolized growing up. So, yeah.
Silly question, but is he also evolving even at this stage of life? Like, do you see him also change?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, it's a different journey he's on now. He's not playing; he's a coach. So, it's
Okay,
different for him.
We'll talk about this post
Yeah.
now. Your personal favorite cricketer growing up? Could be Indian, could be outside of India.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, growing up for me, Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid. Those are the guys I grew up watching. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna go a little more easy. What's the most stylish outfit for men, according to one of India's most stylish batsmen?
What is a stylish outfit? Really depends. I like to keep it cash most of the times. I love like sweatpants and t-shirt and sneakers and a hat. That's what you'll generally see me in. But yeah, like
I think you pull off a suit well, dude. I've seen some.
I love it. I love wearing suits, but like the opportunities that we get to wear suits are very few.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this guy called Guy Ritchie. He came on Joe Rogan and said that he said a man will only look good in suits when he actually enjoys putting it on. Like when you enjoy matching the colors and you enjoy matching that tie.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate truth is you need to earn some money before you can actually start enjoying wearing suits for a lot of guys.
I think I have quite a good collection of suits, but I don't get to wear them as often.
Yeah. What's your favorite pair of shoes ever and why? Out of all the shoes you've ever owned?
It's my favorite pair. I mean, it's changed along the way. I mean, when I was in school, I loved Adidas Stan Smith. I was like always like, I wish like in college I'm going to own a pair of Adidas Stan Smith, and then Jordans, obviously, and I've been associated with these brands, right? I've been part of Adidas. I've been with Puma. So I was never with Nike, so I couldn't wear Jordans. And
are you with anyone as of now?
As of now, no. So I've just gone crazy buying Jordans. A few of the.
Is there one that's like near your heart? Like for me, it's probably Stan Smith's because I've created a lot of memories in them.
Right.
And it goes with almost every outfit.
For me, I think that would be a cricket shoe more than anything, because that's what I mean. I've been in cricket shoes, like half the day would go in them, So there were these Adidas cricket spikes that Sachin Tendulkar used to wear with like 3 red stripes.
Right.
And I remember like I had to like work hard, as in like I had to like save money, like whatever tournaments I played, I had to save money and save it to buy that shoe. And I held on to those shoes for a long time. That I wish I can find it somewhere in my old house or something. Yeah.
Okay. Who's the toughest opponent that you've ever faced on a cricket field?
Toughest opponent, I think, AB de Villiers.
Okay.
I love playing with him, but I felt like he's one player I just wished when I was against him that he got out early, because I knew he could win the game from any position. Toughest bowler has been Rashid Khan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's had my number a few times. So.
Okay. The biggest distraction for young cricketers is?
Just feel too much money too early. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I just feel and no
guidance,
like good guidance.
Bro, how did you like handle it?
I didn't get like too much money straight away. Like I said, everything in my career has been step by step, and like started really slowly and played for a few years on a really basic contract, and then I think when I got my first big contract when I was in 2018, I think 25, 26. By then I'd had a few ups and downs in my career, and that teaches you a lot, and you're a lot more like balanced in your mind. So yeah, I mean, even for me initially, I did like go like bonkers with like the first big check and like a little bit, but really I realized it very fast, and like I calmed down a little bit and started being more smart about how I use that money and investing, and like seeing, like I said, like something doing something other than cricket, also like in terms of like investing that money and looking after like my future and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to see that bag suddenly? What's the emotion as a guy?
Oh man, I think life changed drastically after that. Like I think all of us work so hard to secure our future and to feel financially like stable, right? And when that starts happening, like there's a huge weight off your back. Like for me, I felt like there was a huge weight off me, and I didn't really have to worry about, oh, how will I earn a good living in my life. That was happening, so I could completely and entirely focus my energy on becoming a good cricketer and like performing really well, being a good athlete, and spending time with my family, and all of those things became more important to me because I knew this was taken care of. If this wasn't taken care of, I'd probably still be chasing,
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite natural, I think. Yeah.
As cricketers, when you're fielding, are you very aware of what the fans are saying? Because we try getting your attention.
Correct.
All the time.
You can hear like all these things you can hear.
You
but
hear comments?
Yeah, you can hear comments. Okay. Like if it's coming from really close to the boundary line, you can hear. But if it's very noisy, then it's just like zzz,
Has something like pissed you off? Like someone's comment?
Yeah. A lot of times. More because they don't realize, like they get angry. They keep calling for you, right, when you're on the boundary line, and all they want is for you to turn back and say hello, or like wave your hand, or do all of those things. You do it when you're coming back, but when the over is happening, they still expect you to turn back and wave, but they don't realize that the captain is going to like give us a, like, it is, we've been told before, like when we enter the ground, that when the over is happening, all 6 balls, your eyes need to be on the captain or the bowler or the wicket keeper, because there'll be slight changes that he might make. He might not look at you, he will just look there and say, KL, move this way. Because there's a strategy he's doing with the bowler, or say come ahead or go back. There are slight changes that will happen. So he wants your attention there. And once the over is done, then you can like interact with the crowd, do whatever, dance for them, wave at them, do whatever. And that time, the crowd doesn't know that. They want you, kyun bhau kha raha hai, ghoom ja, say hello, all those things. That's when you're like, let me focus. Like if I drop a catch, you're going to get pissed off, right? So I don't want to drop a catch. I want to focus here, and I don't want to hear gali from my captain also. So yeah, but either way, when you're there, you're going to get gali from there also, you're going to get gali from behind also. So it's, yeah.
What does it feel like when you drop a catch?
I
mean, we all know what it feels like. I just want to hear a cricketer.
Yeah, not good. Because
you know, eyeballs are on you and everything.
Not that, because it is the only thing I feel in sport that doesn't need any luck. Right? It is pure practice and it's pure hard work, fielding.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Like you don't need luck. You can see the ball coming to you. You have enough time to react. A few things, maybe it's luck when you dive and like, whether sometimes you hold the ball and when you fall down, it pops out because you don't break your fall. So those things might be luck, but generally like high catches or like straightforward catches, you should be able to take, and you work really hard for it. And like I said, bowlers, it's a thankless job for bowlers. Like they're running in, fast bowlers, especially in 50 degrees, and they're sweating and they come and bowl, and then you're not supporting them. You feel that you're letting the team down. And when a drop catch happens in the team, there's not a great vibe that spreads, right? Like people feel like, this guy is not switched on, and another guy will feel like, his energy, you manage to create like a dip in energy for 11 players on the field, and that's not a nice feeling. And obviously, you know that people are going to like.
You feel like
Yeah.
you've let your teammates down.
Correct.
Basically.
Yeah.
God, dude, I didn't know this, that it's only down to practice.
It is, I think. Mostly it is down to practice.
Another silly fan question.
Yeah.
What's made Ravindra Jadeja that kind of a fielder, dude? Like, I'm sure you all also notice his like magic tricks on the field. All of us also. What's special? Is it something in his body?
I think he's a really gifted athlete. He's very, very supremely fast. He's got a great arm, which I'm sure like growing up, he's worked a lot. But I've only known Jadeja since he was 25, 26, when he's already part of the Indian team. I've not seen his journey growing up and what he had to do. So I'm guessing like in his early days, he really worked a lot on his fielding and all of that. But he was blessed with speed to the ball, and just generally in the field, you see he's really, really fast. So when you have that and then you work a little bit towards it, you become like a really unbeatable type of fielder. And everyone fears Jadeja. When the ball goes to him, you're already saying, no, I'm not taking a chance with Jadeja. That's the impact he has in world cricket. When the ball goes to him, people are, okay, take it easy. I'm not going to challenge this man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can visualize as a little kid in Saurashtra killing pigeons or something with stones. And then
maybe.
Goes up to
So that's why I said, I don't know the journey of how he's gotten so good at fielding, but I know like once he's gotten to the international level.
Okay.
Yeah.
You enjoy keeping?
Yeah, I do.
What's the enjoyment?
The enjoyment is that you're in the game every ball. When you're fielding, you can tend to like switch off sometimes, right? You know, in a test match, you know the ball's not going to come to you every ball. Even in a one-day game, you know every ball's not going to come to you. T20 maybe. T20, you're like, okay, you need to. It's 120 balls. The energy levels are really high. You're like, you have to be focused. Like anytime the ball can come. But wicketkeeper, any format, regardless of what situation you're in the game all the time. You're seeing what the bowler is doing. You're seeing what the batsman is doing. You have a responsibility to tell your captain, like you can influence him to change certain strategies because you have the best view of the pitch, the condition, the batsman. All of this like it keeps you in the game, so it's more fun.
Are you getting pissed off that I'm asking so many cricket nerd questions?
No.
Like you can talk about cricket, like you enjoy talking about cricket?
All day.
It's not like it gets too much or something?
No, this part of it I enjoy because these are not like really like, these are not questions that people generally ask, right? This is more into the mind of a cricketer. It's not just like surface level like questions like, oh, how did you feel when you scored that 100? Obviously, I felt happy. How am I going to feel, right? But yeah, those kind of questions after a while, you're like, even in post-game interviews and stuff, it's the same questions that we get asked, right? How was the pitch? How did you play? How did you feel it? Like, yeah, those are, again, we do it so much. We have to do it. So we do it. So when outside of the field or in a conversation, someone asks the same questions, you're like, Arey.
You're chill to talk about it even at a party? Like if someone asks you these questions?
No, not at a party. Not at a party. Of course, not at a party. Not when I'm out.
When you're chilling.
Yeah.
What do you like talking about, dude, other than cricket? Like, you know, if at a party, if someone wants to engage in conversation with you, because there's a lot of dudes who want to be friends with cricketers.
Right.
I've seen this whenever there's been a cricketer at any event.
Yeah.
All the other men go up and say, something.
Yeah. I don't mind chatting, you know, to be honest. If it's a conversation that people want to have, I'm very okay and very happy to do that. But like, I get very conscious when the phone comes out. You know, they come in, or you don't know who's recording what. Or a lot of times now, like people come to talk to you, but there's another friend of his who he said, "Arey, candidly take a photo or take a video of me chatting with this person," and then
because it's their status game. For rich people, the final rung of status is having famous friends or being seen with famous people.
So that then you go back, or a couple of days later you see you're tagged in some video and you're like KL chilling with a friend or like whatever. Like that can be like, the narrative can be anything, no? Firstly, they'll say, oh, why is he at a party, right? And then he's talking to whatever. So like all that, those things make me conscious. So I'm like, I get little worried about the phone. Like in this type of like
setting,
or like if it's in your house, or if like people are over at my house, then I'm very comfortable to talk about anything. That's the most free I feel. And yeah.
You enjoy being a captain?
Yeah, I do enjoy being a captain.
I ask you that because, again, as a fan, I've seen how you've evolved through the years, dude. I feel you've reached this stage of and you're just like a year or two older than I am, man. So I feel for guys our age, it's around your late 20s where you shed off your inner boy and you become a man.
Yeah.
As a fan, I've seen that in you as a cricketer. Yeah. There's a very different like maturity level at this stage.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to God and you for letting me get to know you through this episode, dude. Right. But I want to know more about your captaincy style. Like, who are you as a captain?
What I've realized in 2 or 3 seasons that I've captained in the IPL, and a few games I captained for India as well, that a captain is only as good as his team, right? That I realized really early, that no matter how good I am, if the other 10 players or my whole team is not on the same page, there's nothing I can do, right? So it's very important for me to make sure that the whole team is on the same page, right? Like that is the effort a captain has to make. That's the energy that he has to spend to get his team on the same page, like build a relationship with each person. And that was for me a little hard. It was a little challenging because I can be quite reserved. Like, I don't like going into someone's space and like trying to start a conversation. Like, I don't like when someone else does that to me, because I'm probably sitting and thinking something about my own game, and someone comes and talks to me and tells me something. I just feel disturbed. So I don't like doing that. So I always, like, for the first season or first couple of seasons, I was like, okay, everyone will know what they need to do. So let me not get into their space, and like, let me not impose myself as a captain. I'll just be a leader on the field. I'll take the calls on the field, and rest, like, let people look after themselves. But like, my learning was that you need to get everybody on the same page. You need to build a relationship. You need to have a bond with each player where they're willing to fight for you on the field, right? Yeah. That is something that you need to create. And that's something that I've learned. Like, I've been lucky that I've been captained by such great leaders, starting with MS Dhoni. While he was playing, he was a captain. He was my captain, my first captain. So I've seen how he's handled the team and the calmness and the things that he does behind the scene. Like I said, building that relationship with each person is something that I've learned from him, that, you need to build a relationship where these boys will fight for you and with you.
And maybe die for you. Take a bullet for you.
Probably. Yeah. Unfortunately, in cricket, you don't need that. But in like an army setting, you do need that. It's a very army saying, right?
Sorry, I got emotional.
Yeah, people take a bullet for you. Like, the feeling is the same. So that's something I learned from him. And then Virat was our leader for 6-7 years. And the things that the Indian team did under him were like, the stats are there to be seen. And it was phenomenal. Like, the passion that he brought in, the aggression that he brought in, and he set the standard really high. And his way of leading and captaining was like to lead from the front and to show the team how to achieve greatness. And he did that, and we all jumped on board. Like, we all got inspired by the things that he was doing, and we tried to be a better version of ourselves. And that is something that Virat created and gave each player the power or the realization to do, that you don't have to settle for mediocre. You can like push yourself to be better, like work on your fitness, work on your diet, and like the small things that as a cricket team that we did not pay enough attention to, we started paying attention to all of these things. And like, I think the results were under Virat were because of that. And then Rohit, who's like so sharp, like, as a leader, his strategies, he does a lot of homework before the game. He knows each person's like strength and what he will do when he's put under pressure, where you need to attack him, what are his like flaws in his technique. And like, he's is really, really good at strategies and understanding the game. So all these things are like things that I've learned from these people, and I've also used a little bit.
So Rohit Sharma's and all is just a facade.
Yeah,
bro, all that's a facade.
No, he's chill, and I feel like he's so chill because he's so well prepared. Because he knows whatever move you make, I have the answer to that, boss. So that is what gives him that power to be so relaxed and easy. Yeah.
Very silly fan input here again.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you've been captained by MS Dhoni is a dream for every single guy in India.
I do realize that.
In some form. Like, I know people who want to do business with MS Dhoni who'd literally give half of the startup to him just for the sake of him mentoring them.
Yeah.
That's how much MS is like respected.
Correct. Yeah.
What's it actually like being literally mentored by him, dude?
I've realized much later, once that he's retired and like now he's not part of the dressing room, you realize the presence of that man and the greatness that was part of him. And like you said, I know that it's probably every cricket lover's dream to be in that dressing room and like be captained by MS Dhoni. And yeah, he's very simple in his approach. What you see is what you get. And even on the field, like, he is very calm. It's not that he's just being that way. Even off the field, he's really calm, very balanced in everything that he does. He like I said, he has ways of building a relationship with each person. Like the bond that he creates, he has his own way. And he will know what's happening with each individual, like personally and like in his game or what he's thinking. He knows everything about everybody, and that's what I think made him such a good leader. Like he knew how to get the best out of each person. Okay. Also because he knew so much about each person.
Who was he as a guy? Like beyond the captaincy?
Yeah.
What do you think in his character made him, other than the calm nature and good people skills? And the one thing I've learned through these episodes is he was very intuitive. That he knew moments before they happened.
Yeah.
Was there anything else, according to you?
People forget how skilled he was. He was like extremely skilled player as well. And had a great understanding of the game and how it's going to play out. Like you said, he was one step ahead all the time. And also, I think he said this to me also a lot of times, that like a lot of people say this, right? Trust your gut as a captain. And that's something he did, like as a leader or as a person in general. I think the first thought that you get, we always sometimes question it, right? He never questioned it. If he thought that, if he had like a gut feel about a certain thing or certain change that he had to make, he would never try to question it or second guess it. He did it, whether it went well or didn't go well. And think that's what helped him in a lot of ways. Like that's why he was also like very unorthodox in a lot of ways. People didn't understand a lot of things, but it was his gut feel and he trusted it. And over time, that's why I think he's gotten results. He never second guessed anything that he did or his decisions. He felt it, he did it. And you said, intuitive. And
all right.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, all of us can sit here all day. I can go on all day and we can keep talking and keep extracting everything you figured. I feel like you have a lot to say, but you've got very less opportunity to say it.
Yeah.
And now I will break away from being a podcaster and just be a cricket fan and talk to you, dude. I say this to everyone I've watched for a long time. Thank you for everything you've done for the country.
Thank you.
This is just as a fan. Whatever the internet says, I say it again, the nerds, the true cricket fans know exactly what all the boys do for the Indian cricket team. Dude, and you specifically, you've earned respect. I think it's much more difficult to earn respect than to earn success in this world. It's because of how you carry yourself on the ground. What I do want to say is, again, I wish there was some way to convey the love and respect to you without showing you the actual internet, because I know it's a part of your process not to look at social media. But just know we're like backing you a lot, bro. And as a podcaster, again, the one thing I've got to know about you is that, sorry, I'm going to cuss, you're a fucking humble guy, dude. Like, you're a great human being.
Thank
Like, your heart is very, very pure. Over 2 hours of conversation, you really get to know the core of a person. You get to know the energy, as is the case with the listeners. Like, everyone's got to know your human side here. You're one of the purest dudes that I've spoken to, considering where you are in terms of material success and worldly success in the world. And it says a lot about your upbringing.
Yeah.
I'm 200% sure, little philosophically, that God's looking out for you. And what we spoke about luck and moments, just trust God's plan.
I do. I've never doubted it, and I don't think it would have been possible without like someone on top really looking out for me or having my back. I mean, imagine a small town boy from Mangalore. Like, I'm sure you grew up in Bombay, right? You have a sporting hero growing up.
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had nobody. There was nobody to look up to from in the small town that I came from. There was no sporting heroes. So to come from there and end up like in the Indian team and playing for so long, like a lot of times I sit and like pinch myself and wonder how that has happened. And yeah, it has to be someone on top who, who,
You've already built a legacy, dude.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young cricketers, male, female, anyone who's ever taken up the sport professionally that already looks up to you. There's fans that look up to you. And I am dead sure in the coming years, as you come on more podcasts, there's going to be a lot of human beings that love you once they get to know who you are as a guy, man.
Yeah.
So I wish you like even more success, bro.
Thank you.
Like
thank you.
all those trophies and those moments that you're visualizing, I hope God makes it all come true for you. A dude like you deserves like even more than what you've already got.
Thank you.
And before this gets a little too emotional, on behalf of the entire TRS team, on behalf of Agio, I have a gift for you.
Oh.
It's something slightly material, but with a lot of love packed in as well. These are two hampers.
No complaints. I love gifts. Yeah.
Yeah, there's sneakers, bro. It's a little heavy. You can just like keep it, if you wish. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. There's sneakers for the style in you, and then there's a bunch of gifts. But
Awesome.
again, they say that gifting is a love language, so just accept this as some fan love language.
I will.
On a very fan level, again, I'm looking forward to what you're going to do in your whole captaincy vibe. Like, leadership is something all of us also learn from sport. So before I let you go, one last question. Have you thought of this? Have you thought of this aspect of your future?
Future as a leader?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I do think about it, and something that I've realized also, I mean, I've captained, I think, the last 2-3 seasons in the IPL, a few games for India, which is the greatest honor that I'll have, and that that's something that I'll always be proud of. What I've realized and like my understanding of leadership, or the kind of leader I want to be, is someone who's firstly true to himself, because a lot of times when you get that leadership role, you start to think too much, you start to like be a different person. You suddenly feel like, oh, I need to lead from the front, I need to lead so many people into a championship and all of those things, and you start behaving a little differently. And I've done that too. I do recognize that I've done certain things that was not me. So my, like, the leader that I want to be, or the biggest quality I think that a leader needs to have, is to be true to himself firstly, and maintain that energy throughout. Like, whoever you are as a player, try and be that same person as a leader, and that only gives more freedom and power to the rest of the guys in your team. So now suddenly, if I'm as a leader, I start jumping up and down and suddenly start showing like being too expressive, then I feel like it it puts pressure on the other guys in my team to say, oh, this is not KL, but he's being this as a leader. So maybe even I need to do something extra to be part of this team. So I want to be a leader that is the same person as a player and same person when he's given the leadership role. And I feel like that empowers the other players to feel very comfortable in their own skin and do whatever it is they feel like doing and whatever it is they want to do, right? If you're an aggressive person or an expressive person, be that. If you're a quiet person who's not as expressive like me, you should be comfortable to do that. And I need to be comfortable to do that myself. Only then I will allow the other person to do it.
You know, they use this word influencers for content creators. I don't think we're influencing anything. Not all of us, at least. You guys influence minds,
Right.
influence culture. So it's very good that you all get celebrated. But my request to the whole cricket world is be more present on the internet, because we need mentors as well.
Yeah.
We need guidance, dude.
Yeah.
We need inspiration. And a guy like you is fantastic on podcasts. So come back soon, KL Rahul.
I will. I'd love to.
I hope you had fun, dude.
I did.
I know there was a lot of heavy questions today, and I wish I could have done some more with you. But we've left some room for the next time.
Some other time. Yeah.
Thanks for being yourself, dude.
Thank
You're a very authentic guy, and the internet's just gotten to know you. So
A little bit of me. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish you all the luck,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you.
Everything that you want, I hope it's
Thank
yours.
you. I truly enjoyed this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was the episode for today, ladies and gentlemen. I know that if you're a cricket fan, you've enjoyed this episode, because I enjoyed the heck out of speaking to this human being. I feel like sports people in India don't have the platform to actually express what's really going on in their minds and in their hearts. As much as I love old world media, I think it's the age of new world media now, because of social media, because of changing times, and because you guys, the viewers, the consumers, the fans, y'all are getting way smarter. The only way cricketers get to express themselves truly is on a podcast. I'd like to know from you guys who else you'd like to see on the show. Please keep up with our cricket podcast. Lots more coming up. Keep up with all the episodes of TRS on Spotify, especially. Follow us. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. This is Agio Presents The Ranveer Show. This look has been styled by Agio as well, so make sure you download the Agio app and get yourself to be more stylish. I am feeling a surge in energy, and I'd also say a surge in humility, thanks to KL Rahul's personality. I want to have him on the show again. Bhai, if you're watching it till this point, thank you for a fantastic episode. And please come back and talk more about cricket, the most beautiful sport in the world. Booyakasha. We'll see you soon.